Hi guys and dolls, it's me Cora, welcome back. I am so excited to be reviewing more products from the Gwen Stefani Urban Decay collaboration collection. Seems like a mouthful. I just have such an affinity for Gwen Stefani and I love Urban Decay as a brand, so the merging of the two is just really kind of special for me. I absolutely adore the palette that launched last fall. Love this. I personally can use the colors in so many different ways. I love the options to have colors that are kind of sort of similar, but there's enough of a difference that makes them better for a different application. Like for instance, when you just look at the palette, like Skimp and Blonde looked, the same, maybe on camera more so than in real life, because in real life you can see like, oh no, Blonde is like totally like a light color with a little bit more shimmer, and then like Skimp is a little bit more like a peachy cream color. I think that I'm definitely the target audience for that because I tend to like zone in on those differences and kind of, will apply them in different ways. Shortly after the release of the palette, they said, oh, but wait, there's more, and they announced that they were going to be doing a lipstick launch and a lip liner launch and all these other fun things. So today, I am so lucky because Urban Decay actually sent me this launch, and so I get to review it for you guys on the day that it comes out. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to review is the new palette, which is the blush palette. It comes in a box like this. We have the beautiful Gwen Stefani line work. Oh my gosh, it's so iconic, and it's one thing that I've really noticed about her, over time, is that she's into like bold graphic lines, and I'm definitely totally into that as well. In fact, I've got my striped shirt on today, my Felix the Cat shirt. Felix the Cat. The wonderful, wonderful. It's just something I really appreciate about her as a person, and something that I just love, all the gold and the black and the white, and the palette itself has circles all over. It's just very graphic and bold, and I just adore it to death. Again, we have the Gwen Stefani logo here at the front, which is a metal plate, really cool, and then there's a acrylic overlay on top of a textured grid design of circles. Here inside the palette we have 6 blushes. Again, on the mirror it says Magics in Makeup, which if you're a Gwen Stefani fan, it's just a little extra special. So in this palette you have a really good range of blushes. You have your like baby pinks, you have almost really a bronzer color with Lo-Fi. Cherry is the light baby pink, like a cherry blossom type of color. Today I'm wearing Easy, which is a beautiful rose-colored blush. It was a little intense when I first put it on. I was like, oh, I maybe did a little bit more than I should have. So that might be a good blush for deeper skin tones. Hush is absolutely gorgeous and definitely one that I didn't expect to find so beautiful. It's a little bit on the frostier side for a blush this light for me, so it's definitely one that I would use in conjunction with another like matte blush to add a little shimmer with it. And these two here, I really consider highlights. Of course, looks a little deep for highlighting on the skin, but if you have a deeper skin tone, OC is a dead ringer for MAC's Motif eyeshadow, which is something that I've used to highlight on deep skin for years, and so to have it in this huge pan form, I am just like completely so excited about it. And then Angel is one of the most beautiful highlights I've used in a really long time. The texture is gorgeous. It has shimmer to it. I'm wearing it today. It has shimmer to it, but it's not like a frost bomb. It was a little more intense than I expected, and I was kind of just, I just love highlight and blush and everything, so I was just kind of going ham, and in doing so, I was like, okay, I did a little too much of my chin, but it kind of gives your skin like that artificial look, kind of like, do you guys remember in Artificial Intelligence how Jude Law's skin looked? It kind of reminds me of that sort of like super ethereal, otherworldly perfectness. I love it. So this palette is $45. It's definitely in the, what I would call a reasonable price range for a blush palette, especially one as awesome as this. I think that, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want a bunch of matte blushes, this really isn't going to be for you because there's really only one matte blush in the whole palette, and that's Lo-Fi. The rest of them have some degree of shimmer and shine, but I think judging by what I see in the beauty community, we all like our shimmer and shine. And, if you want matte blushes, there's really great inexpensive options like La Femme or, well, we could just get into that another time. But, okay, so the other piece of the puzzle, the other little palette in this set is the brow box. Now this is $30, and I remember the Urban Decay brow boxes I'm very familiar with because when I worked at Sephora, this is one of the brow products I would recommend to people, as well as the Anastasia products. But I really like the brow box in this particular set. First of all, it's called Dirty Blonde, and the colors actually suit my natural hair color, being that it's for dirty blondes, which I am. In fact, you can See my roots poking through a little bit, but we'll just pretend that that's not true. For this brow box, we have the same grid design with the gold. This is just darling. And then once again, it says Magic's in the Makeup on the mirror, which I just think is precious. And other than that, it's basically your standard issue Urban Decay brow box. You've got the two different colors that you can mix together, you know, for whatever desired effect you would want. You have the brow wax, which you put on top to sort of set it in place. Not to sort of set it in place, Cora. To set it in place. So the bottom, you have two different brushes, one to use for wax, one to use with the powder, and then you have a little teeny tiny pair of tweezers, which are just too cute for words. I wish they'd come out with this in different colors so that people with all different brow colors could enjoy, you know, the cool packaging and everything. So it's kind of a shame. What I will say is that this type of taupey color is pretty universal, and even if you have like very dark hair, as long as you want an ashen colored brow, this will actually work for you. Typically when I am filling in people's eyebrows when they have like black hair and stuff, I'm filling it in with something like a dark ashy taupe color like this. So the only people that this is totally not going to work for is redheads. And honestly, I put a little bit of it over what I had on my brows today anyway, and it was fine. So now moving on to the lips. I know the part we're all excited for. I am super, super excited for this. I just love Gwen Stefani. One of her most iconic parts of her makeup is her lipstick. She's always worn, I mean, she mixes it up, but I mean, I would say like the classic Gwen Stefani lip is like a creamy red. Not super glossy, not super mattified, but sort of a creamy red. So there's definitely a lot of that in this launch. There's a red for everyone, but there's also some, you know, some pinks and there's a nude and there's a purple, well, like a fuchsia, not purple, but anyway, in any case, there's a color for anyone here, and I really love the mix of textures, the mix of colors. So we're going to go ahead and get started with what I'm wearing today, which is Rock Steady. Now, when I did these swatches, I did them so that you could see both the lipstick by itself, and if it had a coordinating lip liner, I would apply the lip liner to this half of my lip, and then just leave this part bare and just apply the lipstick over it. And then, I put the lipstick over both sides of my lips, but this side had the lip liner, and this one had no lip liner. The lip liner itself is very mattified. It has a really great texture. I love the way that this fills in the lips. Packaging of these lipsticks is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to be totally honest. They do feel a little more plasticky and a little less high quality than what I've come to expect from Urban Decay, because the Urban Decay Revolution lipsticks, actually I have a couple here, come in this really cool like metal casing. It's very heavy. It's just such a luxurious experience. So I was expecting something along the lines of this. So when this came in, it was plastic. I was a little like, wah. In any case, it looks beautiful. It doesn't look, you know, like cheap or anything like that. It doesn't feel as luxurious as what I'm used to from Urban Decay. So Rock Steady is a nice deep red. In fact, I'm going to give myself another. It's definitely more on like the blue base side, but it's not so blue base that, you know, if you have a warmer skin tone, you can't pull it off. So beautiful. It has a creamy texture. It's not super glossy, but it's not mattified either. It's not satin texture. It's a really, really great deep red. It's my personal favorite. So the next one I want to share with you is Spiderweb, and this one I'm sharing it across my entire lip because this one does not have a coordinating lip liner, and I chose to just do the ones that didn't have a coordinating lip liner all on their own. Instead of trying to match it up with one of the other lip liners. This is a really beautiful bright red. It's just completely bam in your face, and I'm gonna poke myself in the face. I love the name. Of course, these are all named after like songs of hers, or like in the case of 714, her area code. This is a bright red. To me, this one is definitely more on like the orangey side of red, and it's very, very matte, almost kind of a little bit of drag when you're applying it to the lips, but nothing terrible. This does have a coordinating lip liner, which is really great. The other thing I want to mention is that when you're doing a red lipstick, you can always modify how a color looks on you by using a different lip liner. So for instance, if you were to use like Wonderland lip liner, which has a little bit more of a pink tone to it, with 714, it could work for you if you have a cooler base skin tone than if you were to use 714 with 714, which is going to make you, very red orange. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So the next color I want to talk about is, of course, Wonderland. So Wonderland is what I would call like a soft, it's not even really a red. It's almost like I would call it rose. We're going to name this Rose. Oh my god, I just got it because like Wonderland and like the Queen of Hearts and her roses. Wonderland is amazing. I love the texture. I love the color. I think this is probably the one that I'm going to wear the most. It has a nice wearability to it. It has the coordinating lip liner, which is just a gorgeous color, and they go together great. So the next color in this launch is something that's kind of out of left field. It's Firebird. And this one is very glossy. It is such a gorgeous lipstick. I'm not even kidding. Like, I opened them up and I was like, that's pretty. I'm probably not going to be all that excited about it. And then I put it on and I was like, yes! This color is a beautiful, deep fuchsia that has a bit of a violet or almost like a blue flash to it, which is really gorgeous and kind of hard to pick up on camera, so I'm doing my best here. This does have a coordinating lip liner. I discovered with a lot of these lipsticks that had the more glossy texture, over the lip liner they went on a little bit more mattified, and I kind of liked them better by themselves without the lip liner. This definitely made it more like full coverage and have more impact. But it doesn't need that. It looks awesome on its own. It's just a beautiful, glossy, awesome lipstick. So speaking of a lipstick that looks different with the lip liner, for sure there's like a huge night and day difference. You can really see almost like a line of demarcation down my lip. So Ex-Girlfriend, the lip liner, has a little bit more of a brown base to it. So it's going to definitely work for people with medium skin tones beautifully. And it did work for me, but just compared to Ex-Girlfriend lipstick on its own, which is a little bit more of a sheer, almost juicy look to it, I mean, hands down, this is the way to go for me. With, I'm not going to be really using this lip liner with this lipstick. I'll use it with other stuff, for show. But I'm definitely going to be using Ex-Girlfriend lipstick on its own. A beautiful, juicy pinky nude. I cannot wait to wear this one. So excited. The final 3 lip products are going to be exclusive to UrbanDecay.com and the Urban Decay flagship store. So the first one is Phone Call, which is a beautiful, I hesitate to call it a hot pink. It's definitely like a bright pink, but it's not what I would call hot pink. In fact, the lipstick is very soft in color, and again, it has a beautiful, juicy, very smooth texture to it. Really gorgeous lipstick. Really excited about this one. And then the final lipstick is the one where I'm kind of like, womp, 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 and that's Plaid. This is a sheer berry red, but on my lips, it just sort of looked patchy, and because it doesn't have a coordinating lip liner, I did try it on its own. If I had it to do over again, I'd put a lip liner on underneath it to sort of give me that color fill-in. But this just doesn't give because it's a sheer lipstick, and it's not that it did anything wrong, it's just that I personally don't love a sheer red. Just my personal preference. So that is it for my review of this launch. I adore it. There are a couple of things where I'm like, this looks better than that, like Ex-Girlfriend lipstick, totally better on its own than with the lip liner, in my personal opinion. For my, for my skin tone, I'm cooler toned, therefore the pinky works better for me than the more brown color. If you're more medium toned or more golden toned, with the lip liner would work better for you. Anyway, you know what I mean. So let's not rehash the whole review in the end. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Let me know what you guys think of this launch. Is there any specific, product that you're excited for? Is there stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, how similar is this to something else? I'll do my best to answer those questions for you guys in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye!